Welcome back to the channel. In this video I want to show you how I speed painted the Ogor Mawpack for Warcry. The first thing we're going to do is start working on the skin, and I mixed this 4:1, so 1 part forest sprite to 4 parts speed paint medium. I didn't want the colour to be very saturated. I wanted it to be more of a very pale green, like a really sickly green. By diluting it, I've watered the colour down a little bit more, so it pulls lighter in the raised areas and darker in the recessed areas. Once the green of the skin is dry, we're going to go in with a 2:1 mix of Moody Mauve and speed paint medium and go over all the areas where the bones are sticking through the skin. I also, with the same mix, went over sort of where the knee is and all like the fingertips, just to give the skin a bit more of a contrast. And any grooves like just under the armpit, I just put a little bit in again, just to put a little bit of contrast to the green skin. But when applying it to the bone and that, just be very careful, just don't go too mad with it. Just literally cover the bits of skin that are on top of the bone and then just a little bit round it. If you go too mad, you can get the tide marks that run down it, so you'll see where the Moody Mauve has dried and just left that dark purple line. All the skin's finished, we're next going to take some dusk red and we're going to go all over the cloth areas on the miniature. So this one's got like a cape, a loincloth, and also the straps around the foot, any straps that are on the arm, and also on the weapons there's a few straps holding the stone to the wood on the hammers and axes. We're now going to take some occultist cloak and start working on the weapons. So we're going to use it to paint all the stone that's on the hammers, axes or pickaxes, whatever they're carrying. And also we're going to paint the hair of the miniature, and also any stonework, if they're standing on a rock or anything like that, we're going to paint that in the same colour. Next we're going to use some brownish decay and we're going to paint the teeth, any of the fingernails or toenails, and also the bones that are embedded in the skin, because it'll give it more of like a rotten bone look, like they've been there a long time, and not a bit more of like a clean fresh bone look, I suppose. The next speed paint we're going to use is dark wood, and if you haven't guessed already what we're going to paint with dark wood, you're right, we're going to paint the bone. No, I'm joking. We're going to paint the wood on the handles of the weapons. Just give them one quick coat of this, and I think it's one of the best looking wood effects you can get. Also, while you've got the dark brown, just paint the rope that's round his waist and onto the loincloth. Next I'm going to use poppy red and I'm going to go over all the stone on the weapons. You haven't got to do this, but with this guy sort of leading the pack, I wanted his weapons to stand out more. And when this dries, it gives the stone sort of like a gemstone sort of look, I think. I also did this with the speed paint Raging Sea and gave the others a sort of blue stone look, which looked really nice, which I'll show you at the end of the video how that turned out. But yeah, but if you don't like the poppy red or you just want to keep it stone, then you can just skip this step. Next we're going to take some bony matter speed paint and we're going to go around all the bones that are hung around the miniature or he's wearing, not the ones that have been embedded into him, as we painted them with the brownish decay earlier. Next we're going to take some blood red and we're going to work on his mouth. So we're going to take that onto his tongue and also basically coat all the inside of his mouth in red. and then take a sort of your best brush you got with a nice tip and go round the edge of the teeth and onto his lips. It really makes his mouth stand out against this green skin. The last main thing we've got to paint on this miniature is the metallics. I'm using the speed paint broadsword silver, but if you don't have the speed paint metallics, you can just simply use a metallic paint and then just give it a wash, like a dark wash or an Agrax Earth shade wash, something like that, just to sort of give it the shadows as well. But yeah, with the metallics, literally go round on the weapon. There's a couple of like spiked like rings around it, paint them. And also a lot of these miniatures have got like a bit of a bear trap sort of, or a chain around their wrist or their leg, where it looks like they've been like held captive, or just traps have been set. So yeah, give them a coat of the metallic as well. And that is pretty much most of the main paint work on this done. There's just one more thing we've got to do for the metallics. The last thing that's left to do is I'm going to take some Fire Giant Orange and basically go over the metallics anywhere that two parts join, or there's like a rivet or a nut or anything like that. I'm just going to paint round it, paint on top, just to give it that ruster look, so it just give a bit more depth to the metallics. Like, it's not a freshly made weapon, it's been sitting around for a little bit. But you can go as heavy or as light with this if you want. If you don't like it, then you don't have to put it on. It's entirely a personal preference. Now all that's left to do is base the miniature and paint the base rim black. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to base these at the moment, so I've just left them with a sand texture for now. So I'm just going to coat them so they're ready to go and ready for the tabletop. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. It'd really mean a lot to me. Until next time, enjoy your painting and keep it simple.